John Doerr, what a fucking weirdo. Guy is a weird motherfucker. Wow, it's so good to be here. I'm on HBO in Canada. Which camera do I... All of them? Okay. Guys, I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia. He mentioned that. That's kind of like a poor, hillbilly part of the United States. Now, when I was in 5th grade, they came in our class, they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And every boy in my class said basketball player. Which didn't make a lot of sense because we lived in West Virginia. So we were all white. Most of us were short. Some of the kids had nutrition problems. It's like, what do you want to be, Tyler? A basketball player. Really, Tyler? Your family only eats Pop-Tarts. How is that going to work out? You're going to lose energy on the court, buddy. You need more nutrients than that. Every girl in my class said veterinarian, which is a job I do not understand. Because a veterinarian, you go to college for like 10 years. So you can be a medical doctor for multiple species. So the attitude behind being a veterinarian, it's just so weird to me. It seems to be, it's like, yeah, I missed out on my 20s, but if I can save one ferret, it will have all been worth it. I sacrificed my youth, but I stopped a badger from choking. I feel like they're like species traders because they accumulate all of this medical knowledge, but then they're like, fuck humans. This is for lizards. This is for iguanas only. That's weird. If you were having a legitimate medical emergency, like someone was dying, you're like, oh my God, this guy's having a heart attack. Is there a doctor here? A veterinarian would be like, I'm a doctor, but I mostly breed horses, so do you have a stallion that needs to ejaculate? Well, then I can't help you because I've turned my back on humanity. So, I mean, just, you know, it's just odd to me. I think those little girls, when they wanted to be a veterinarian, they thought veterinarian would be like, it'll be a little doggy, and he'll have a hot water bottle on his head, and he'll have like a little cast, and he'll be like, oh, I don't feel so good today. And you would hug him, and he would be better. But that's not what being a veterinarian is. You have to put your fingers in the dog's asshole, which is the opposite of hugging the dog. Do you understand? Like, oh, the only people that should become veterinarian are people who are like, I love putting my fingers in a dog's asshole. It's like my favorite thing. The attitude about animals is just weird to me that people have in the city, because in the city, the attitude toward animals, it's like animals are people. They have emotions. They have personalities. They like these outfits that I put them in. And where I grew up, the attitude was like, pick which puppy you want because the rest are going in the river. Do you know what I mean? You probably think you know what like a redneck or a hillbilly person sounds like, but you know, where I grew up, they use terms you're probably not even familiar with. Where I grew up, people would use the word yuns. Have you ever heard yuns? It's a contraction of you and ones. I'll use it in a sentence so you know how it would be used. It would work like this. You'd be like, hi, yuns want to go to the puddle we sit in? Hey, yuns, guys, I finally found a stick we can use to hit that cat. Hey, yuns, I found a pile of dirt we can marry. And I grew up with a kid who lived with his grandma. He called his grandma his mongie. What is that? And she would get us these Kool-Aid drinks they had at the time. They called them Squeeze-Its, but she'd call them Squeezies. So a conversation in that house would sound like, hey, Nate, tell your mongie to get us a squeezy. Yuns want a squeezy? Yes, thank you, mongie. That part of the United States needs help because they're dying. My dad, this is true, my dad works at Walmart. That's not the funny part of the joke, asshole. You piece of shit. No, that's the problem. When I tell it's not a big deal. I just say, oh, my dad works at Walmart, and people will react strangely. I'll be like, oh, my dad works at Walmart, and they'll be like, oh, what's that like? And I don't know how they expect me to respond to that. Like, I'm just gonna play along, like, I'll be like, oh, I know. I mean, he gave me life and supports everything I do, but the whole time I was like, get a better job. What they always do, every time, they go, well, what does he do at Walmart? Implying that if I don't say president of the company, my family's not doing very well. My dad's a piece of shit. So when they ask that, when they go, well, what does he do at Walmart? I'm always like, oh, he works in the children's guns department. So here's what happened, all right? There was a hurricane in the United States. There was a hurricane in New York City where I lived last year. My mother called me like 29 times that day to try to help me survive the hurricane. You know what I mean? Which, if I need my mother to call to help me, maybe I should die. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm sitting by the phone, like, I hope mommy calls. Like, maybe I'm not meant to survive. And when she would call, see, she would say crazy shit. Like, at one point she called and she said, they said on the news they're evacuating all of New York. And I was like, no, they didn't. They did not say that. That's not even possible. And I don't know what news she sees when she's watching the news. She must see a different news. When my mom watches the news, it must look different. It must be like, good evening. Tonight's news. Your son Jared is in trouble. You have to save him. Quick, look up hurricanes on Wikipedia. Send that to him. It's the only way to save him, Leetta Logan. Thank you so much. And I love you guys.
Where we go to church on Sundays, church on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, funerals on Saturdays, and back to church on Sundays.
Because Americans are always saying things that there's not that much proof for. You hear us say things like, we're number one.